The galaxy was used to war, but this time fear spread faster than ships could travel. One by one, entire star systems went dark. Trade lanes fell silent. Ancient alien empires stopped sending signals. No one knew who the enemy was, only that nothing survived them. Among those empires was a Varelian alliance. For centuries they were strong, proud, and powerful. They ruled many worlds and commanded massive fleets. They once laughed at humanity, calling humans loud, weak, and too young to matter. Now, the Varelians were dying. Their fleets were destroyed in minutes. Their strongest weapons failed. Shields melted like glass. Commanders with hundreds of years of battle experience were lost without sending a single report. Panic spread across their worlds. With no hope left, the Alliance leaders gathered in secret. They did something no one expected. They sent a message to Earth. The signal crossed the stars, weak and broken, carrying words full of fear. It reached a human listening station near Earth. The officers there froze as they read it. "We are losing. Our fleets are gone. We beg for help." For a long moment, no one spoke. Humans were not part of the great galactic powers. They were still considered newcomers. Helping the Varelians would mean stepping into a war no one understood. The message was sent up the chain of command. Then higher still. Deep inside Earth's hidden networks, sealed files were opened. Projects that officially did not exist were unlocked. Systems untouched for decades began to power on. Far from Earth, in a dark region of space with no name, something massive stirred. Lights turned on across a hull, so large it hid the stars behind it. This was not a fleet. This was not an army. This was humanity's most dangerous weapon. And soon, the galaxy would understand why humans were never afraid of monsters. They built their own. Every hour without a reply felt like another world lost. Their councils argued. Some believed humanity would ignore them. Others feared humans would arrive too late. No one imagined what Earth was truly preparing. On Earth, there were no speeches, no public announcements, only quiet orders moving through deep military channels. Old commanders were called back from retirement. Scientists who had vanished years ago returned to seal facilities. A single phrase appeared on classified screens. Project Oblivion, status, active. Only a few humans had ever seen the full design. Even fewer understood its purpose. It was not made to win wars. It was made to end them. Far beyond normal space lanes, hidden inside a dead star system, massive docks came alive. Robotic arms the size of cities moved into place. Energy levels rose higher than any recorded in human history. The weapon began to move. Its engines did not burn like normal ships. Space around it bent and twisted, as if reality itself struggled to let it pass. When it powered up, nearby stars dimmed for a moment. Human crews did not cheer. They did not speak. They knew what this machine meant. Generations earlier, humanity had learned a hard lesson. The galaxy respected only strength. So humans built something that would never need to prove itself twice. Meanwhile, the enemy continued its advance. The unknown force reached the edge of Varelian core space. Planets evacuated in panic. Civilian ships fled in every direction. Then, at last, Earth sent a reply. It was short. "We are coming." No details. No promises. In the silence that followed, a human admiral stood alone in the command chamber of the weapon. He looked at the stars ahead and gave a single order. Set course to Varelian space. The engines awakened fully. Space screamed. Across the galaxy, sensors began to fail. Long-range scanners returned impossible readings. Something vast was moving faster than it should, carrying power beyond known limits. The aliens would soon see it, and when they did, they would realize their plea for help had unleashed something far worse than the enemy they feared. Humanity had not sent hope. They had sent judgment. It was the traitors. Civilian ships near Varelian space reported strange shadows in open space. Stars vanished for seconds, then returned. Navigation systems failed. Time readings slipped out of sync. Then the military sensors saw it. Every screen across Varelian command lit up with error warnings. The object was too large, too massive. It could not be a ship, yet it was moving with purpose. No known fleet matched its signature. Fear spread through the command halls. Some officers believed the enemy had arrived. Others thought it was a natural disaster. No one guessed the truth, until a human transmission cut through the chaos. Human asset has entered the combat zone. Maintain distance. That was all. Moments later, the weapon emerged fully into real space. It was vast beyond belief. A dark structure stretching for hundreds of kilometers, covered in layered armor and glowing energy veins. Massive rings rotated around its core, bending space with every slow turn. It did not fire. It did not maneuver. It simply arrived. The enemy reacted instantly. From the void came the hostile fleet. Countless shapes moving like a living swarm. They rushed toward the new arrival with speed and confidence, the same way they had destroyed every other force. The human weapon did not raise shields. It did not dodge. Energy levels climbed instead. Deep inside the structure, systems older than the Varelian Alliance activated. Power flowed into a central core that pulsed like a beating heart. Human commanders watched in silence. When the enemy crossed a marked boundary in space, the Admiral gave one command: execute Phase 1. Space folded inward. The swarm vanished, not exploded, not damaged, simply erased as if it had never existed. No debris, no energy residue, just empty space where thousands of ships had been. Across Varelian space, silence followed. Then panic. Sensors confirmed the impossible. Entire enemy formations were gone in seconds. The aliens stared in disbelief. This was not a battle. This was execution. And Phase 1 was only the beginning. The silence after Phase 1 was worse than any explosion. Across Varelian command stations, officers stared at empty space where the enemy fleet had been. No wreckage, no signals, no remains. It was as if reality itself had been edited. Some aliens began to panic. If humanity could erase fleets so easily, what would stop them from doing the same to anyone else? Before questions could be asked, the enemy reacted. From deeper space, new contact appeared. Larger, heavier. These were not swarm ships. These were core units, ancient war platforms that had ended entire civilizations. Their arrival bent gravity and flooded sensors with raw power. The human weapon did not retreat. Its massive ring slowed, then changed rotation. Energy surged into systems of Varelians could not even name. Space around the structure darkened, swallowing light. Human commanders remained calm. They had seen this before. Phase 2, the Admiral ordered. A deep pulse rolled outward, not fast, not loud, but unstoppable. The wave passed through planets, ships, and stars without resistance. Enemy war platforms froze. Then they collapsed inward, crushed by their own mass. One by one, they folded into themselves, forming brief artificial singularities before vanishing completely. Varelian scientists screamed warnings. Their instruments broke. Laws of physics failed to explain what they were seeing. This was not advanced technology. This was control. The enemy force tried to retreat. For the first time, it ran. The human weapon followed. Not chasing, not rushing, just moving forward, calm and inevitable. Across the galaxy, hidden observers took notice. Ancient empires powered up defenses. Secret councils met in fear. Old records were searched for any mention of humanity's true strength. They found nothing. Humans had hidden this weapon from everyone, including their allies. As the last enemy signal faded, the Admiral turned to his officers. Phase 3 is locked, he said. Hold position. The crew understood the weight of those words. Phase 3 was never meant to be used. It existed only if the galaxy itself became a threat. And now, watching in terror, the galaxy realized a simple truth. Humanity did not fear monsters. They had learned how to be one. The war should have ended there. The enemy fleet was broken. Their strongest weapons were gone. Entire regions of space were quiet again. For the Varelian Alliance, survival was finally within reach. But fear did not fade. It grew. Alien leaders watched the human weapon hovering in their space, unmoving and silent. It did not leave. It did not power down. Its presence alone felt like a threat. Emergency councils were called across the galaxy. Messages flew between distant empires. One question echoed everywhere. What happens when humanity decides we are the enemy? The Varelians sent a careful message to the human admiral. Their words were polite, grateful, afraid. Is the threat ended? They asked. Will the weapon depart? The reply came quickly. Awaiting final confirmation. Final confirmation of what? No one knew. Inside the weapon, human sensors detected something disturbing. Deep space ripples. Dimensional scars. The enemy was not fully destroyed. Something remained beyond normal space. Wounded but alive. Phase 3 began to unlock on its own. Warning lights filled human consoles. Energy readings climbed toward unsafe levels. The weapon was designed to end not fleets, not worlds, but regions of reality. The Admiral stood still. If Phase 3 activated, the enemy would be erased forever, but so would everything near them. Star systems, civilizations, history itself. This was the reason the weapon was hidden, not because it was powerful, because it demanded a choice no one should have to make. The enemy made that choice easier. From the darkness, a final signal appeared, a last attempt to strike, a desperate attack aimed not at the weapon, but at the Varelian homeworlds. The aliens screamed for help again. All eyes turned to the human admiral. Phase 3 was ready. The galaxy held its breath. Humanity had the power to end everything. The only question left was whether they would, and that answer would decide what kind of species humans truly were. The enemy's last attack moved fast. Dark energy signatures raced toward the Varelian homeworlds. Their defenses were weak. Their fleets were gone. Millions of lives hung on a few remaining minutes. Inside the human weapon, alarms rang softly. Phase 3 was fully unlocked now. One command would erase the enemy forever, but it would also tear space apart near the Varelian worlds. The Admiral closed his eyes. This was why humanity feared this weapon. Not because it could destroy the galaxy, but because someone had to choose how it would be used. He opened a channel to Earth. Permission to override Phase 3, he said calmly. There was a pause, then a reply from the highest human authority. Humanity trusts your judgment. The Admiral turned back to the battlefield. Redirect power, he ordered. Limit range. Precision mode. Engineers hesitated. This had never been tested. The weapon was not built for mercy. But humans adapted. Energy flows changed. Systems screamed under the strain. The massive ring slowed, then locked into a new pattern. The enemy's strike entered firing range. Fire, the Admiral said. A narrow pulse flashed, not wide, not endless. It cut through space like a blade. The attacking force vanished instantly. No shockwave, no damage to nearby worlds. Silence returned. Scans confirmed it. The enemy was gone. Completely. Phase 3 shut down. Across the galaxy, relief spread like a wave. The Varelian homeworlds were safe. Their people survived. A final message came from the Alliance. You could have destroyed everything, they said. Why didn't you? The Admiral answered simply. Because we were asked to help, not to rule. The human weapon powered down. Its lights dimmed. Slowly, it turned away and vanished into deep space, returning to secrecy. The galaxy would remember this day forever. Aliens learned that when humanity responded to a plea for help, they brought overwhelming power. But they also learned something far more important. Humanity's most dangerous weapon was not the machine. It was their choice.